So the first thing I want to do is go to settings and take a look at our logbook formats. So this is the new feature that we just added. So when I drill in here, you can see I've already set up a airframe 100-hour, 50-hour, and discrepancy logbook format that I want to use. But I haven't done that yet for the engine. So I'm going to do so now. I'm going to start by clicking Add Format. I'm going to give it a name. So engine 100 hour. And I want this to be for the engine 1. And the first thing I'm going to do is add a table. So I'm going to create a 6x6 table here. Give myself a little extra room to work with. And the first thing I want to do is I want to add my logo to really be prominently featured in my logbook entry. So I'm going to merge these cells together and then insert an image. And I'll select our wings. You can see that just drops it right in there. I want this centered, so I'll go ahead and do that as well. Now I want to enter information about my company. So again, I'm going to merge these cells together. And then I wanted to show you our snippets functionality. So you notice up here at the top, we have snippets. And if I come down here and select maintenance location, for example, I can enter my maintenance location name. Now, the reason that's important is we support multiple locations. So if you have multiple sites where you perform maintenance, by using these snippets, it'll dynamically insert the appropriate name and location information based off of the maintenance location for the work order. So that allows you to have one format with that works for both of your locations. So I'll go ahead and below that, drop in my address. And you can see me using the menu up here above. But another thing we did is enabled shortcuts. So by simply typing a bracket or squiggly, you'll notice that it opens up an auto completer that allows me to select, or I can simply type and filter that down to the snippet that I want to insert. So I'll go ahead and do location 2, or address 2, line 2, excuse me, address line 3. And then let's go ahead and add my phone and email. And I'll go ahead and throw my website in there as well. Pretty easy to do. Over here on the right, we'll go ahead and put a logbook title at the top. So again, I'll merge those together. And we're going to be doing the engines. So we'll do power plant, logbook record. And I want that centered, and I'll go ahead and bold it. And I also want that underlined. So you can see how easy that is to do. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our registration. And below that, we'll put our aircraft serial. And below that, we'll do engine model. Oops. Fix my typos here. Engine serial number and work order number. I want all of these right justified, and then I'm going to use my snippets to fill in the rest. So put aircraft tail, let's add the make, and let's add the model. And then below that, we'll do aircraft serial number. I'll do engine description. I'm going to add my engine serial number as well. And finally, my work order number. You can fully add formatting to your snippets. So I want to bold those. And you'll see what that looks like here in a little bit. All right, next I'll do date. And then we want our airframe TTIS. I'll add in my TAC time, my engine TTIS, and my engine TSOH again. I'll justify all of those. And using snippets, I'll start filling that out. So TTIS for the airframe. Now this is actually interesting. So I could just use the takt time for engine 1, but because I want my format to be customizable or dynamic, I should say, across all of my tails, maybe not all of my engines or aircraft have a takt. So instead of doing actual takt time, what I can do is use the based on meter value for engine 1. And that's going to reference aircraft times for the tail and actually look up what meter the engine is based off of and pull that in instead of hard coding it to be engine 1. So this may no longer be takt. So I'm going to go ahead and do based on the meter name for engine 1. And now, no matter which tail this format is used on, it'll pull in the appropriate meter. So TTIS for the engine, and just rounding this out, we'll do TSOH for the engine as well. Pretty easy to do. So in less than a couple minutes, I've created a custom format. I want to throw a little more text in there at the bottom. So we will go ahead and just paste something in, put a little emphasis on the 100-hour part of that. And then finally, I'll go ahead and center it. And just like that, we've built out a fully custom header for my logbook entry for 100-hour. The footer is what goes below all of your mechanic notes. So I'll go ahead and paste in my return to service memo. And I want to put some emphasis on the power plant and the 100-hour. So we will do that now. And just like that, I have a brand new format. So I'm going to go ahead and save it. And you can see that it got added here. Pull it down just so you can see it clearly. And let's go take a look at what that's going to look like on a work order. But before I do that, let me show you how you can use snippets and our rich text in your maintenance reminder templates as well. So I'm going to come over here to all templates, and I've already built this one out, so you don't have to painfully watch me do it in real time here. But if you see here, I've already added some content that I want included on my 100-hour for my 152s. So on the template itself, this is where you can customize make and model specific information that you want included with your maintenance records outside of the logbook format itself, which can be more generic across your fleet. Down below here in the engine, you see I've added a table for compression checks. And then you can also see down below here, I've added a snippet because I want my aircraft tail number referenced in the engine 1 and propeller 1 logbook entries. So you can see that in both places. All right, so let's hop over to the schedule where we can take a look at 4723 here that is currently in maintenance. So when I hover over the maintenance reservation, we pop up our status widget, and you can see here some changes based around the time tracking. So I can see that my estimated time was 26 hours. I can see that 11.707 hours have been logged. And I can see that I've got 3 total work items, 1 closed and 2 in progress. So it looks like I'm trying to get this tail back out on the field today. And we've got almost 15 hours of work yet to do. So let's drill into that and see what's going on. So I'll click into my work order here. And the first thing that I'll do is take a look at the time entries tab. This is new. And I can see here that Jake is diligently working. He's already got 2 hours on it today. And so what this is all of the time entries across all of the work items on this work order rolled up into a work order view. I'm going to see if I can't help Jake out here and start working on the 100-hour myself. So I'm going to go ahead and clock into this work item. And you can see that was as easy as clicking the start button. And now I've got a timer activated on this particular work item. Down here below on the time entries, I can see both my timer that's running and also Jake's timer. So this is the same view, but just on a individual work item. All right, so we're going to kind of fast forward a little bit and pretend like we are now ready to add our work logs to this particular 100-hour. So when I click on the work logs, the first thing that you'll see is the same templated text that I had built out on my reminder. You can see down below where the tail number snippet has been hot swapped in for the actual tail number for the work order. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add my mechanic corrective actions. So I'm just going to highlight that and paste in some text. And again, you can supplement this with additional formatting. So I'll go ahead and bullet all of this information out. If I wanted to call attention or emphasis to a particular things, such as a part number or whatever the case may be, again, you can add highlights, bolding, underline, whatever you want to do. You can also come in here and insert special characters. So we support a large number of special characters. So if you want to add in the ohm sign or degrees, you can certainly do that. Of course, that's not as relevant on an airframe, but you can also add snippets in real time. So again, all the same snippets are available throughout all of the text areas within Maintenance Hub. So if I wanted to document a takt time, I can simply start typing takt, and we will hot swap that in with the actual value from the meter itself. Same thing if you wanted to do tail or make, all of that is hot swapped in real time. So TSOH for the engine, you can see how that works. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that out of there. And we'll save that. Now I'm going to add my engine corrective actions. So again, I'll paste in some text here. Go ahead and bullet that out. This is where you would enter your compressions. I won't fill them all out, but you can see how that would work. And last but not least, I'll go ahead and fill out the prop. Same thing, add some bullets. All right, so at this point, we could consider the 100-hour done. I'm going to go ahead and click over here on the time entries, just so you can see that Jake here is about to stop his timer. And that's going to automatically update that over here on my work item as well. Just need to get the right tab open. Apologize for that. All right, so Jake stopped his timer, and I'm going to stop mine as well. Now at this point, if I wanted to add some notes, I can certainly do that. So I can update that to add a note to the actual time itself, or I can go ahead and click stop. So we've got the 100-hour done. Go ahead and close that out, completed date. But if someone had come up to me and needed some help on a different work order, I can clock into that by using our global timer feature up here at the top. So I want to start a new timer but this time I'm going to search for a work order. So we'll clock into 209 here. Windshield repair. He needed an extra set of hands to get the windshield placed. So I can go ahead and start that timer as well. So you don't have to find your work order first. You can start that timer from anywhere in the product using our global timers features. You can see that across all tabs there. You can only have one timer working at a time. So if I were to then come back over here to my work items, and I'm wanted to now start working on the seat track inspection, it's as simple as starting my timer here, and that's going to automatically stop the global timer up here at the top. So you can see that's now at 0.01 by simply clocking in to the seat track inspection. I am now clocked in to that on the 208 work order. So we tried to make this as easy as we could. We really wanted to give your mechanics flexible and dynamic ability to log time. So let's go ahead and drop in our maintenance note for the seat track inspection. So in this particular case, we found some cracks on the rails. Go ahead and save that. And I'll just clock out of it so that I can go ahead and get it closed out here. And at this point, we are ready to generate our logbook entries. And you can see what that's going to look like based off of the format we created. There it goes. All right, so I'm going to come over here to Logbooks, and I'm going to generate an entry, and I'm only going to generate the engine for now so that you can see what that looks like. So within here, you see my 100-hour with all of my compressions, and I'm going to be able to select my new 100-hour format that I just created and click Add to Logbooks. And now you can see here that it pulled in my logo. It swapped out all of my snippets with my actual brand information. It swapped out, the tail, make, and model, the serial number. All of those got automatically swapped out. You can see the bolding that I added to this particular column, and you can see down below the footer that I added as well. So at this point, all I need to do is add myself as a signatory, which you can see automatically pulls in my AMP number, and I'm ready to save that. And I've now got a beautiful logbook entry that I can print out and put in my customer's logbook, and we are ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and generate the airframe and prop just so you can see those as well. I'd already pre-built those formats, but you can see where we've used different information, some different columns for the airframe. Same with the propeller. This is the standard format that comes with it. But if I wanted to instead use my 100-hour entry for my prop, I can go ahead and add that, and it's going to pull in a blank entry of the same of the propeller format. And with that, that concludes the demo portion. So at this time, we will hop back over and see if we've got any questions.
Hey, Andrew, Elsa Peralta had a question actually related to what you were just talking about. She asked, is there a way to save the times for engine or aircraft, et cetera, at the moment when service starts so that it is saved and not when the logbook is created? So kind of like instead of current value, like we have in snippets, is there a way to capture that at the beginning?
So the snippets are going to use whatever the current time is. So if you are pulling the aircraft in for service, the first thing that we would recommend is to confirm that the aircraft times have been updated in the system. You can do that we don't need to say this. You can do that directly on your work order using the aircraft times button, but we will only pull in what we have available in aircraft times. So if those numbers have changed through the course of your performing your work, if you don't update aircraft times, we will be pulling in the original values. So the short answer to your question is, when you bring the aircraft in, confirm that the aircraft times are correct per what you're reading on the TAC. And then as long as you don't change them throughout the course of your work order until the very end, the snippets will use those same times, essentially making it stamped at the start of your work order.
Okay, we have another one from Justin. Can you have more than one work timer running if on individual FSP accounts?
A single individual cannot have more than one timer running. If you are using a shared workstation, as long as each individual is logging in and starting a timer, that timer will continue to run even if they log out. So let me know if that didn't answer the question, but no individual can have multiple timers running. But each individual can have a timer running. All right, everybody. Well, I won't keep you then. We know you're busy, so we'll let you get back to it. Obviously, if you are joining and have not started a maintenance hub trial, please do so. It is free. You can do that by clicking on the maintenance link in the left side of the product. And then last note of business there, this is our return to service series. We will be having upcoming webinars. We already did a parts and inventory webinar earlier this year, but we will be coming back to that as we are hard at work on our parts and inventory solution. We actually expect to have some capabilities launched at the beginning of the year to support that. So we'll do a webinar going over all of those features. We will have also upcoming webinars on billing, purchase orders, service orders. We're doing some vendor management stuff now. And ultimately, we intend to have a customer portal. So please do continue to look for these invites and join us on those future events. And with that, thank you very much for your time, and we'll talk to you later.